All right. Erica, can you hear us? Assuming that's no. Ms. Castillo? Hello?
Oh, she's talking, she's muted.
Can you hear me? Okay, so she must be muted. Erica, if you're muted, if you could unmute yourself, we wanted to get the meeting started.
Maybe turn on my camera.
She's definitely muted.
Well, she's muted, but that doesn't mean she can't.
Right. That's just for speaking.
Text her.
Is it?
Oh,
Okay. Mr. Benahan, how are you? Can you hear us?
Oh, sorry. I didn't have you guys on speaker. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. We were calling out to you.
Okay. I was wondering, I'm like, they're all looking directly at the camera. I can't hear anything. Okay, I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
Okay, perfect. All right, everyone. I would like to call the meeting to order at 6:34 of the Ad Hoc District Branding Initiative Committee. I want to say thank you to our staff for being here, our board members, Mr. Benahan and Ms. Castillo. I would like to entertain a motion to accept the meeting minutes from last meeting.
So move.
Second.
Perfect. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Any abstentions? Hearing none. All right. So let's get right into our agenda because I don't want to keep you all long. The first thing is to have an update and discussion about the district logo. It is in the packet. So if you all had an opportunity to view it, please do that. And then we'll have our staff to share.
Hi. There you go. There's paper copies.
Okay.
Do you guys want paper copies so that you?
Thank you.
So I know the last time we talked about adding some updates and some changes. I know via email, we did say that we'd wait for today's meeting to discuss it. So if you want to just highlight any of the update changes.
Sure. So part of the feedback was that you wanted a more simplistic shape around it, that we wanted more detail in the kids so it didn't look like a Ferris wheel. That was part of the feedback. And then seeing some color concepts that actually represent the multicultural background of our students.
Okay. I will open up the floor for discussion. Miss Erica, I saw you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I thought this was such a big improvement from the original. I especially the children, because that was something that I had a lot of feedback about, was that it looked like a Ferris wheel. So thank you for recapping that for us. But I also think that the new version, they really do look like children. I appreciate that they have different colors to represent the diversity. There are some colors, like there's a pink that I'm not a huge fan of, just because I don't think that there's any of our schools in the district that have pink as a school color. And yeah, I don't know. I think that was the only color that I had a little bone to pick with. But other than that, I think the colors do a good job of representing the diversity and the schools in the district.
Perfect. Mr. Benahan? Go ahead, Albert.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Brown. As I said in one of the emails, that I didn't like how was the logo look like because, like I said, the colors, I really sending you how would like to see it. And I know everybody see that. I don't know if you send it to Miss Henry, that would like to see the kids like like a human, not like a circle, like a robot, some change, something more positive. And like I said before, we need to have something, the colors represent the high schools. So you receive that, right, Ms. Brown?
Yes, and that's why I wanted you to have the opportunity to share your thoughts because Miss Henry is taking down some notes. So if I could say you're looking to have the students look more humanistic, if that's even the right term. So more
Are you looking for
Features?
facial features?
facial features instead of just images. Mr. Benahan,
Sorry, say it again, Ms. Brown. Sorry, because I'm trying
did
to
you
get.
want did you want to add more features? So in this updated one, we can tell that they're either girl or boy. We could tell that if the different nationality of the students. Are you saying like eyes, ears, like physical
Yeah,
features?
like it's almost like the same way I send it to you. Something more positive, something more happy, something more that the kids did it. Like I did it. Already graduating, and then the colors from the high schools or something similar. That what I sent it to you.
Okay. I definitely. Oh, Joe, sorry. Any thoughts?
If we looking for preferences, I just definitely like the first one,
The top one.
top left.
Top left, okay.
And I don't know if we could integrate maybe Mr. Benahan's colors, but I'd be careful with, be real careful with facial features and actually gender identification, because they could be actually either or with these kind of hairstyles, because some people are non-traditional gender conforming. So I think it's probably better because we don't want to pigeonhole anybody, and we don't. And as adding facial features, we would have to be careful not to add any stereotypical facial features. And I don't know how much of a facial feature you could get in on such a small space anyway. But I do like the statement Mr. Benahan made about like a positive message or something like in there.
So we can certainly edit the colors of the attire that the kids are wearing to represent all of the high schools. So I know, for example, at FAME, we've got a logo that incorporates Bassick Central Harding and then the three colors at Fairchild and the navy blue from BMA. We can certainly ask for that to come in. I know that part of the last conversation was if the skyline was too busy. And so I believe Mr. Weldon had wondered about if we were to use the logo cut out on something, how it would look. And so the designer has done, so it's in columns. So if you take a look, the first column on the first page is the three logos represented in the three various forms, one with color, one without color, and then one against a dark background. And then obviously column number 2 takes the buildings out of it and emphasizes the lighthouse for Bridgeport, Seaside. And those are those three. And then the second page offers it more as a circular, because I believe our feedback last time was that we liked the circular image. And so the artist has given us those sort of options to work with. So I think for me to go back to them, we need to make a determination of if we want the city background or if we prefer the every kid every day surrounding the logo like on the second column, or if we want to go with the more circular version.
Yeah. Go ahead, Albert, and then Erica.
Yeah.
Ms. Castillo, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
What I heard, thank you, Ms. Brown. What I heard about Ms. Joe Sucker talking about be careful with the color. When I talk about the color, I'm talking about, I don't know if you see Mr. Joe Sucker. Joe, the picture of the kid, but graduation, is not. I'm not talking about the skiing. The skiing. I know the protocol, and I know Ms. Henry will fix that. But I'm talking more enjoy, more humans. Let's put it this way, more human, because the one ended before I see it is like a circle robot. I don't see positive. I don't see passion. The one I sent to Miss Brown, and I know Miss Castillo receive it, is more enjoy, more happy, more positive. Like the kid, I did it. I already graduated from Bridgeport High School. That's the way I'm talking. The color of the picture of the gowns and the colors of the high schools, so they can have a little color from the high school. That was my point about the colors.
Okay. Well, what we can do is, go ahead, Miss Castillo, sorry.
Oh, no worries. I was just to your point about the two columns. I gotta say, this is like a really tough decision because I like the skyline because it screams Bridgeport. I think anybody that lives in Bridgeport would look at that logo and be like, oh, what a nice representation of how they've simplified. And I think that was Weldon's point about removing it, was that he felt like the skyline was busy. And I think I could see what he's saying, because the way that logos perform, they should be simple in nature, and they should perform well against different backgrounds. Or if you want to run it, with a transparent background, even, it should perform the same. So I understand, and that's kind of why I'm moving away, Albert, from the idea of making them more detailed than they already are, partially because of Mr. Sokolovic's what he said earlier about, just keeping it a little more neutral to respect different identities, both gender identities and cultural identities. But also because if you add, like, the more detail you add to a logo, the more difficult it becomes for it to perform well in different circumstances. If you blow it up really big on a billboard, or if you have it as a letterhead, or if you want to print it onto a mug, it has to be a logo that performs well in all circumstances. So I'm okay with keeping it simple in terms of the children. I think, and I'd like to discuss this. Do you all feel that the city is simple enough? Weldon feels like it was a little too busy. I personally, I like the city. I think it's simple enough, and I do think it's so characteristic of Bridgeport. But then, the other column side, I gotta say, and please give my regards to the designer on this, because they have really taken our feedback so well, and they've really executed such beautiful design in both instances. I do think that the simpler the better, and so the right side really is a little more simple than the left side. So I think what we really need to decide on is, do we want this logo to scream Bridgeport and have like a literal skyline in it, or do we want to go for a simpler aesthetic that we know is going to perform really well in all instances? What do you guys think? I think that the Bridgeport, the left column with the Bridgeport skyline, is simple enough. And
I agree.
right, and it seems to perform well in all of the different variations that we've been provided here. In terms of, if you look at the second page, have we gone to the second page yet, or are we only on the first page?
No, we're looking at all of them and just looking at the changes that were made. So as of right now, I think Joe is filling the left side first one, same as me, because the only reason why I'm saying that I don't think it's as difficult is because if we look at the previous city logo, all of that is very detailed, like the city's logo, and then the school's logo as well. It's very detailed. So I think that we can definitely get away with the top left corner, because it looks really well if you want to put in a transparency, it looks fine. Personally, that's what I think.
Yeah.
And because we want our kids to identify where they are coming from, I think it says that as well. But I agree with I agree with everything that everyone is saying, but I also too really wholeheartedly agree with Joel is saying on the fact that we don't want to get too detailed with the children, only because we don't want to, misrepresent any student or any nationality.
Yeah.
But
Hello, Ms. Brown.
hi.
You would have heard my opinion.
Yeah.
That's the way,
It's been-
everybody have a different opinion. Like I said, I want to see humans. I don't want to see.
Okay. So
No, I understand the point and I understand what Ms. Castillo said. But like I said, I know about the space and everything, mug, like this one, the one we have, Mr. Testani said, it's different how to.
it's very busy.
I know, I understand. But like I said, if it's gonna be, let's see, the kids, the way you said the second one and the first page and the right side. And I said, let's change the kid. So we change, my question for you, Ms. Henry, we change the kids. Because give us a sample. It's a sample.
Yep.
My opinion.
Go ahead.
Tell me, you're the more professional in this.
Go
If
ahead.
they say we change the kids, we can change the whole thing, we change the whole logo.
We can change, we can leave the
So
logo as
It
is,
can be,
add details to the kids.
Yeah.
We can take away details for the kids. We can certainly change the colors of the kids to make sure that they represent the 5 high schools,
Mhm.
because I know that that was a big part of it. And
the represent the 5 high school.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, and I'm happy to tell the designer that we need the red for Central, the blue for BMA, and so on. I can send them the list of colors, and I can send them the specific colors that match our high school. I don't know if the details in the faces will.
Will even be seen.
Right.
So that's
That's
the
my
other
concern,
thing.
because I think if it's on a billboard, yes, we would be able to notice it. But if it's on a letterhead, I don't know if the size of it will translate to actual. I think I love the idea of showing the positivity, showing a smile. I think that that's a very nice, we want our kids to leave Bridgeport and be part of Bridgeport, smiling, right? I'm not sure how much detail. I can ask them to add faces and we can look at it again. I'm happy to do that.
What I'm gonna suggest is, so if you want to look at the last two, because she can definitely make the changes, and then I would say let's not stress our graphic designers out with the whole nother set. But if we can see how much they can add to the children,
Sure.
and then out of these two, because these are the two that we're looking for, these are the top two, and then these how they look on the bottom, how they will look as a transparency. Maybe can we all agree that maybe these are the possible ones we look at, and then see any updated changes that she comes back with as far as like the children details? Because here's my issue is that we will never get to the next phase of presenting it before parents and children if we don't kind of buckle down on at least two. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah,
I don't
I
want to
agree.
extend this longer. So that's what I'm saying. These two, for the most part, if you want to see the changes done to the children, we could possibly see that happen without having to go without a whole nother design. Ms.
Yeah.
Castillo?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's wise for us to maybe narrow it down to one or the other, either the left side or the right side at the very least, by the end of today's meeting. And then, we can work on the details of the children. One suggestion I can make, having experience with design, that might be a good compromise in this case, is maybe to just, and I know this sounds a little weird, but just like bear with me, try to imagine it. But what if we just added smiles, just a curve,
Mhm.
like a
Just the mouth.
yeah, just a mouth, like just
I
a
could see it.
smile, right?
And
on
that
all the
doesn't,
kids. So
everyone
no eye-
smiles.
Right.
Everyone, I guess for me, I was worried, I didn't want it to look stick figure-ish. So that was why
Yeah.
I was okay with no extra features, but what do you think?
Have to.
Because no, and you don't
That's
have
something
to.
we would have to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to agree on it now because I'm just saying out of the two, we picked today, which is our strongest one. And then she goes back and either touch it up with a smile or something, just so we have something to move forward with.
And
Yeah. look at this, if I just draw it in simply.
Okay.
Oh,
So Erica, you imagine it with a smile and we, we can, it's right here, the
The
bottom left,
bottom right.
bottom right. Because, yes,
yeah, it looks all right.
Yeah, it's fine. It looked 5 minutes. Mine is nothing bad. Two questions. And I don't know if Ms. Brown or Ms. Henry, they can answer me that. Is necessary to keep using the word every kid every day? That's one. And second, if we remove my question, the lighthouse, the water, and the every kid every day question, and trying to put the kids, the one I sent it to you, you think they will fit? There will be something different. I know they send the bottom at Bridgeport Public School. That's my opinion.
So you'd
I'd
like,
like to see how they look like.
so no words, no every kid every day.
Did you receive did she receive,
I think you can resend it. You want to resend?
I'm gonna resend that when I'm talking about, so you maybe you have an idea.
Absolutely.
You move, let's say every kid and this kid in the lighthouse and the water to see how the picture I'm gonna send it to, how they look like. That's something I like to see it, that's all.
Okay.
Sure, absolutely.
And
I know that last time,
the happy face you made, the look, I like it, look nice.
great. I know last time we discussed how every kid every day could be used for so many different events if we add the verb. Every kid every day succeeds, every kid every day graduates, every kid every day creates. Where we said we could use that branding or that slogan for the various departments in the school. Every kid every day participates, every kid every day attends. But I can certainly ask the designer to send us a mock-up with no writing around it, no lighthouse, and no waves.
Okay.
No.
Out
Well,
of every,
Hold on. No,
so my only issue with that, Albert, is that now we're in the phase of creating a whole nother one. So that's the only issue. Now, yeah,
I'm just bringing it to the table, just, to see how the unit
I
look.
can ask.
okay, what we'll do is,
hold on. Can I just chime in really quick?
Mhm.
About the every kid every day. I gotta say, I've always had a bone to pick with every kid every day because it's not saying anything. You know what I mean? There's no verb there. And we did have the conversation, as you mentioned, about, maybe using it in different campaigns and then adding the verb and like campaign or what have you. But I will say, every kid every day is a mark of Mr. Testani. He introduced that to the district. And in light of everything that's going on, is this something that we want to continue entertaining going forward? Would it be okay, or is this something that maybe we should discuss if we just remove the text, every kid every day? So I'm looking at the logos here, and if I imagine these very same logos without the every kid every day text, I think they still perform well, all of them.
I agree.
It's Bridgeport Public Schools. That's what we're representing here.
Attention, all staff and students. This is a reminder that the doors will be closing at 6:45. After that time, no one else will be allowed into the building. So students, it is very important that you arrive prior to 6:45. You should be here for 6:30. Thank you.
Those details, sure.
Sorry for the interruption, Erica, but I mean.
No worries. Yeah,
to-
no worries.
To your point,
Yeah, go ahead.
I think everyone over here is somewhat in agreement of that. So I definitely, maybe that's something we can do, is just remove that text because we want to make sure it's going to be felt across the district. And right now, it's not the best at this moment.
Yeah, it's not good timing for the every kid every day, And so, and anyway, as I said, it's every interpretation of the logo still has the same impact without the every kid every day.
It
right?
does.
In every So if we're in agreement about just removing the text every kid every day, I'm okay with that.
I'm
and
okay
then we
with
can
it.
maybe decide on left side or right side. What do you guys think?
Yeah, everyone's in agreement. My only thing is I just want to, so for Ms. Henry, the take backs from today is to see the edit logo with Albert's suggestions.
Adding the facial details, yep.
Everyone,
And-
yep, go ahead.
I'm sorry, and no lighthouse and no waves, he asked for.
Mhm. Yep, and then we, for the most part, are in agreement for the left side,
Got it. Perfect.
correct? Am I wrong? Is everyone, okay, so everyone is in agreement of
Wait,
that?
I have a question. What,
Yep, go
what,
ahead.
who said to remove the lighthouse and the waves? Why are we doing that? And in which case of the logo?
So Albert wants on the right side, he wants to see what it would look like with his suggestions to the logo.
Okay.
And but
So I
without the
think-
lighthouse and the waves?
I
Yeah.
think what we're looking at is adding the facial details and removing the lighthouse and the waves so that the logo is not too busy. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But I think the thought behind the lighthouse and the waves on the right-hand side was there so that the faces of the students could be better represented.
Yeah, he wants him to be, I guess, bigger to see how it looks without all of the added details on the right side. Go ahead, Albert.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. What I say that Ms. Castillo is to see how they look like, because I know, like you said before, and we a few minutes before, that we have to be careful what we put, because and then when you print it, if you put in the mug, in the T-shirt, or in a website, something like that, sometimes it will look more big. So I just like to see how they would look like. I didn't say to remove it.
Yeah.
To see how they look if you move. Let's see the words, the lighthouse, the water, to see how they just look like. That's all.
Okay, so that would be on the right side of the logos?
Yeah, that right hand bottom one with so you have not silhouette. But the right hand side. So we all are agreeing on the left, but he wanted to see what it would look like for the right hand one.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me personally, I feel like if we're moving forward, if we're choosing the left, why continue entertaining the right? You know what I mean? Just because it is more work for the designer, and I don't really see the lighthouse and the waves as being as adding to busyness. I think it establishes the city. It's the only icon in the right side that that places Bridgeport, aside from the text Bridgeport. So that's my qualm about getting rid of it. Is like, what I love about the left side is that there's a skyline and it screams Bridgeport, and the only thing that's on the right side logo that screams Bridgeport for me is the lighthouse. If you remove it, if you remove the lighthouse, I guess it still says Bridgeport, I don't
Okay.
know. Anyway, I just wanted to say, yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna turn it over to Joe. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with the left side and possible problems, but one more suggestion on the left side. Are we married to the fonts?
I love the font. Well, hold on. Let me see. I
Particularly don't like the G.
the G out of all the things in it.
Yeah, no, it's just because it's not defined. I mean,
Do you prefer the font on this page with the much more? On
Like
page
the last
3,
one.
there's a different font, but I could ask them to make, a font is easy.
yeah, just a couple of ideas. Because it's just,
Okay, no
I don't know. It's just
The G's.
G just got my eyes irritated. I don't know why.
No problem.
But
I love that font. I think it looks wavy, like the
it's not
sound.
right. Yeah, it's no biggie. It's just that we've been staring at it for a long time. It's given time to find an issue. So this is probably something nobody else will ever see and bother them. So I can withdraw that. don't even
All right.
bother.
Well, listen,
If everybody's on the same
Joe,
page with it, that's fine.
Joe, I agree that the G maybe is a little. If we can maybe just like slightly define the G a little better, I think we can probably do that. But the overall text, I prefer this text over what's on page 2, because page 2 is just like
Yeah,
you
it's
know, so
Basic.
standard.
Mhm.
You know, you can,
Yeah,
yeah,
So
it gives it
even
a
if
little
you
more
could-
character.
Even if we just added the line to the.
yeah.
Does that work for you better?
Sorry.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna propose a vote for either for the right side or the left side, only because we need to define what we need Miss Henry to go back and do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna propose a vote for the left hand. Anyone in favor for the left hand side, vote at the top of the page.
Aye.
Aye.
You took out the first page?
Yep, this top one. But it's gonna look, you can look at either of these two. That's what it's gonna look like.
So if you make the vote, doesn't matter if Ms. Henry, comment change with the one I say.
So
We
no,
cannot keep because you have, you make a vote.
correct. So it's either that one or this one, only because we don't want to extend the design process. Now she can, but we will never finish out the logo. So
It's
yeah,
not,
so
you know, can I just say, it's not that we don't want to extend the design process, because there is going to be another round where they
is.
refine whichever option we choose. But I think that we should choose an option and stick with that, so that they know what to refine on whichever one that we choose, rather than continuing to refine two different versions only to ultimately to do away with one of them.
correct. So I'll restate it again. I would like to entertain a vote to accept the left-hand side logo. All in
Yeah.
favor?
I like the left side.
Aye.
I'm abstaining.
Okay, we
And
have,
the reason I'm staying for the record that I would like to see the process of like I said, to Miss Henry, and then I would like to see that, and then I can say, we can make a vote, but I just want to see how they look like. That's the reason I'm abstaining.
okay. So motion, vote carries, so that's 2. And then do we even do the other one, Joe, or no? No? Yeah,
There's a separate, takes care of this one agenda item.
okay.
Do you have another agenda item? I don't see.
Well, Mr. Sassani will have to be here for that
Oh,
one, so. All right, so,
table the next one.
yep. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna carry on with the top logo.
You got it?
Yep. And then what we'll do is for next meeting, I'll add the agenda to the process of bringing in parents, staff, and so forth.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, we want to see it with no words, every kid, every day. We want to potentially see the G defined just slightly. And we want to explore to see, well, the colors of the high schools will be represented in the kids. And then I will ask them to put a sample with kid smiles.
Correct. Correct? Correct.
Yes.
I just want to make sure that I go back with the right feedback.
Perfect. And then we have one other, thank you, Ms. Henry.
You're very welcome.
We have one more agenda item. I'm gonna leave that for our next meeting, only because Mr. Testani, I would love him to weigh in on that particular agenda item. And then I also need to add yours, Ms. Castillo, as well. So we can table the last agenda item for next meeting.
Sure. Okay, that sounds fine with me.
All right, motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All right. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Everyone have a good night and thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, thank you.
Your email.
It's Henry.